Yes, it's another 50mm lens for the Fujifilm X Mount, but I think this could be the magic one. Let's see if this 7Artisans 50mm f 0.95 is worth taking a closer look at for around £229. Yeah, it's kind of intriguing. Let's check it out. Let's crack it open. We've got an all metal 421 grams without the cap and the hood. I think it feels really nice. Obviously not particularly big, also not compact. That word is getting really abused lately. I'm not sure what this Pioneer version thing is all about. I wonder if that's because this is maybe sent out as a test lens. Maybe that's why there was nothing else in the box. Everything similar to the other 0.95, as you'd expect. I do like this metal cap, fits nicely and seems like it'll do a good job. Gonna blow a bit of dust off the top of there. We've got a 62mm filter thread. Now on the bottom we do have a plastic cap, but everything here is metal, so that's nice. And as you saw, I used it on the intro, so it fits well. It does have a declicked aperture ring, which is really rather annoying. It moves quite nicely from 0.95 to 16. A couple of points there where they haven't labeled the number, but I guess that's more down to space than anything. And you can see there's quite a drop at the widest apertures. But yeah, that feels quite nice, to be fair. Now, the manual focusing ring, decent, smooth, well dampened. Yeah, I like it, pretty good. I don't particularly like the fact that it's not internal. You can see everything's moving in and out, but in the real world, for me, that's fine. We're going from 0.45 meter minimum focus distance round to infinity in a fairly decent throw. I don't plan to use this for video that much, but I have seen some cracking examples of videos taken with 0.95 lenses, so you never know, might get into that. That is a nice feeling, decent sized, decent weight lens. Let's see how it fares with some real world use and a little stop down test too. The lens is designed to be shot wide open, take advantage of that f/0.5, and that's where it really shows its character. Now, if you're after pure image quality instead of character, you've probably seen enough of this lens already. It's probably not for you. But at f/0.95, the rest of us, well, we're still going to be having to forget about sharp and ultimately contrasty images, and we're going to have to be careful with the bokeh too. You can easily go from smooth and dreamlike out of focus areas to having some very awkward cat's eye bokeh, depending the light sources in the frame. You know, you could save yourself using a glow mist filter, and you can get some pretty cool shots in otherwise awkward backlit situations. It's definitely good for getting those atmospheric, moody shots, and it'd work very well for certain portrait photographers into that kind of thing, and video shooters too, even though it's not necessarily designed specifically for video shooting. To be fair to the lens, it's much better used for raw shooting than the unedited test shots shown in this video. The lens could definitely benefit from a hood to cut down glare and tighten up the contrast in wide open shooting. And I think it would have been nice if they had included something, even a rubber hood, you know, to keep the cost down, but to appease us a little bit. Chromatic aberration is noticeable wide open in certain situations, and generally only in those awkward sort of backlit shots. The Hoya glass included is doing fine work, it seems, and it's pretty cool that 7Artisans were able to include that in the lens. There's another way to look at it though, and it's that the lens really isn't for pixel peepers, and at f/0.95 it never will be. As you'll see in a moment, the jump in overall image quality from f/0.95 to 1.4 and 2 is quite noticeable. So you could think of this as a dreamy, magical lens wide open, then an excellent, cleaner, short tele equivalent when stopped down a bit, if you're into that 2-in-1 sort of value for money kind of viewpoint. After using this for a while now, I'm not going to say any more about that aperture ring other than it moves smoothly and it's not clicked, and it should be, and that's a bit of a shame. Now as for the manual focusing, that's fine too. After some use it feels smooth still and it's fairly light. I haven't got much of a problem with that. It all seems pretty accurate too. There is focus breathing as you would expect, and using focus peaking and in this case magnification of the focus point is definitely my preference when working with such a fine aperture. At around £229 on Amazon at the time of recording, I think the lens is very good value for the photographer that wants an f/0.5 lens at this focal length, someone that's more interested in character and the ability to tell a story in a less clinical fashion. You know, a creative that's a bit more patient and ready to play with the light around a very fine focal point. Don't necessarily get it if you'll be stopping down all the time, or if you prefer a technical lens over a lens full of character. Of course, there are plenty of cheaper, more suitable, very nice lenses out there at this focal length that we've featured on the channel already, for example. Now, if you bought the 7Artisan 35mm f/0.95, this would pair nicely with it. Now, that turned out to be a very popular lens, and I loved seeing all the comments about it. So, be interesting to see how you all get on with this one. I'm not sure which of the two inspire me most, but I do think they go nicely as a pair. Anyway, I look forward to your thoughts in the comments section below. Until then, as always, take it easy, and I'll see you very soon.